me hand and foot. As in the case of one about to be executed, my arms are bound behind my back, so that I can scarcely move. "Give me the whip, Heidi," commands Wanda, with unearthly calm. The negress hands it to her mistress, kneeling. "And now take off my heavy furs," she continues. "They impede me." The negress obeyed. "The jacket there," Wanda commanded. Heidi quickly brought her the kazaibaika, set with ermine, which lay on the bed, and Wanda slipped into it with two inimitable graceful movements. "Now tie him to the pillar here." The negresses lifted me up, and twisting a heavy rope around my body, tied me standing against one of the massive pillars which supported the top of the wide Italian bed. Then they suddenly disappeared, as if the earth had swallowed them. Wanda swiftly approached me. Her white satin dress flowed behind her in a long train, like silver, like moonlight. Her hair flared like flames against the white fur of her jacket. Now she stood in front of me, with her left hand firmly planted on her hips. In her right hand she held the whip. She uttered an abrupt laugh. "Now play has come to an end between us," she said with heartless coldness. "Now we will begin in dead earnest. You fool, I laugh at you and despise you. You, who in your insane infatuation have given yourself as a plaything to me. The frivolous and capricious woman. You are no longer the man I love, but my slave, at my mercy even unto life and death. You shall know me. First of all, you shall have a taste of the whip in all seriousness, without having done anything to deserve it, so that you may understand what to expect, if you are awkward, disobedient, or refractory." With a wild grace she rolled back her fur-lined sleeve and struck me across the back. I winced, for the whip cut like a knife into my flesh. "Well, how do you like that?" she exclaimed. I was silent. "Just wait. You will yet whine like a dog beneath my whip," she threatened, and simultaneously began to strike me again. The blows fell quickly, in rapid succession, with terrific force upon my back, arms and neck. I had to grit my teeth, not to scream aloud. Now she struck me in the face. Warm blood ran down, but she laughed, and continued her blows. "It is only now I understand you," she exclaimed. "It really is a joy to have someone so completely in one's power, and a man at that, who loves you. Do you love me? No? Oh, I'll tear you to shreds yet, and with each blow my pleasure will grow. Now twist like a worm, scream, whine. You will find no mercy in me." Finally she seemed tired. She tossed the whip aside, stretched out on the ottoman, and rang. The negresses entered. "Untie him!" As they loosened the rope I fell to the floor like a lump of wood. The black women grinned, showing their white teeth. "Untie the rope around his feet." They did it, but I was unable to rise. "Come over here, Gregor." I approached the beautiful woman. Never did she seem more seductive to me than today, in spite of all her cruelty and contempt. "One step further," Wanda commanded. "Now kneel down and kiss my foot." She extended her foot beyond the hem of the white satin, and I, the supersensual fool, pressed my lips upon it. "Now you won't lay eyes on me for an entire month, Gregor," she said seriously. "I want to become a stranger to you, so you will more easily adjust yourself to our new relationship. In the meantime you will work in the garden and await my orders. Now off with you, slave." A month has passed with monotonous regularity, heavy work, and a melancholy hunger for her, who is inflicting all these torments on me. I am under the gardener's orders. I help him lop the trees, and prune the hedges, transplant flowers, turn over the flower beds, sweep the gravel paths. I share his coarse food and his hard cot. I rise and go to bed with the chickens. Now and then I hear that our mistress is amusing herself, surrounded by admirers. Once I heard her gay laughter even down here in the garden. I seem awfully stupid to myself. Was it the result of my present life, or was I so before? The month is drawing to a close. The day after tomorrow. What will she do with me now? Or has she forgotten me, and left me to trim the hedges and bind bouquets till my dying day? A written order. The slave Gregor is herewith ordered to my personal service. Wanda Dunayev. With a beating heart I draw aside the damask curtain on the following morning, and enter the bedroom of my divinity. It is still filled with a pleasant half-darkness. "Is it you, Gregor?" she asks, while I kneel before the fireplace, building a fire. I tremble at the sound of the beloved voice. I cannot see her herself, she is invisible behind the curtains of the four-poster bed. "Yes, my mistress," I reply. "How late is it?" "Past 9 o'clock." "Breakfast." I hasten to get it, and then kneel down with the tray beside her bed. "Here is breakfast, my mistress." Wanda draws back the curtains, and curiously enough, at the first glance when I see her among the pillows with loosened, flowing hair, she seems an absolute stranger, a beautiful woman, but the beloved soft lines are gone, the face is hard, and has an expression of weariness and satiety. Or is it simply that formerly my eye did not see this? She fixes her green eyes upon me, more with curiosity than with menace, perhaps even somewhat pityingly, and lazily pulls the dark sleeping fur on which she lies over the bared shoulder. At this moment she is very charming, very maddening, and I feel my blood rising to my head and heart. The tray in my hands begins to sway. She notices it, and reaches out for the whip which is lying on the toilet table. "You are awkward, slave," she says, furrowing her brow. I lower my looks to the ground, and hold the tray as steadily as possible. She eats her breakfast, yawns, and stretches her opulent limbs in the magnificent furs. She has rung. I enter. "Take this letter to Prince Corsini." I hurry into the city, and hand the letter to the prince. He is a handsome young man with glowing black eyes. Consumed with jealousy, I take his answer to her. "What is the matter with you?" she asks with lurking spitefulness. "You are very pale." "Nothing, mistress. I merely walked rather fast." At luncheon the prince is at her side, and I am condemned to serve both her and him. They joke, and I am as if non-existent for both. For a brief moment I see black. I was just pouring some Bordeaux into his glass, and spilled it over the tablecloth and her gown. "How awkward!" Wanda exclaimed, and slapped my face. The prince laughed, and she also, but I felt the blood rising to my face. After luncheon she drove in the Carcine. She has a little carriage with a handsome brown English horse, and holds the reins herself. I sit behind and notice how coquettishly she acts, and nods with a smile when one of the distinguished gentlemen bows to her. As I help her out of the carriage she leans lightly on my arm. The contact runs through me like an electric shock. She is a wonderful woman, and I love her more than ever. For dinner at 6 she has invited a small group of men and women. I serve, but this time I do not spill any wine over the tablecloth. A slap in the face is more effective than 10 lectures. It makes you understand very quickly, especially when the instruction is by the way of a small woman's hand. After dinner she drives to the Pergola Theatre. As she descends the stairs in her black velvet dress, with its large collar of ermine, and with a diadem of white roses on her hair, she is literally stunning. I open the carriage door and help her in. In front of the theatre, I leap from the driver's seat, and in alighting she leans on my arm, which trembled under the sweet burden. I open the door of her box and then wait in the vestibule.